You are listening to an All Games Radio Network broadcast of AllGames.com.
Hi, this is Normie from Knuckleballer Radio and Zombie Cast, and you're listening to one of my favorite shows on the Geeky Antics Network. Don't forget to check out the rest of the gang over at geekyantics.net. Warning, there might be rants and food ahead and possibly inappropriate behavior. Don't tell anybody though.
Welcome, geeks, gamers, furries, and ninja robots. This is HorsePLAY Live. Today is Thursday, August 25th, and this is episode 193 of your favorite, unfavorite, inconsistent, consistent, crazy train wreck of a show, HorsePLAY Live. And we're tentatively naming this one Unchain My Heart, because it's kind of fitting. And I keep saying this every week, but it's been another interesting week. And, I'm just trying really hard to get in the groove and be consistent with the schedule, but everything kind of hinges around family and work, and there's not much left after that. So, doing my best here, but we'll get there. We'll get there. And everybody else has things going on too, so you're probably stuck with me for the next few weeks at least. And I'm sure once fall comes around, things will get a little more normalized. But I'm your bald bear lizard host, Yogizilla. If you haven't met me yet, hello, welcome to the show. This show is typically done Thursdays at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, 4 a.m. GMT/BT, whatever you want to call it. Over at twitch.tv/geeky antics. And we also do reruns, which I like to call HorsePLAY Replay, over at allgames.com, our unofficial sister network. That's All Games Radio Network, allgames.com. That's at 5 p.m. Eastern, so about 6 hours earlier in the day you can catch last week's episode. Though I'm falling behind, so just a heads up, probably by the time you listen to this episode, unless you catch it on YouTube, YouTube I try to get up sooner. But if you're on the audio feeds, then you're probably going to catch this one in time for a dual upload. I'm bundling together episode 192 and 191 together. So it's going to throw a lot of people off. But they're both really pretty short. So I think together they make about an hour-long episode. And I might do some more of that. Also, heads up while I'm still in the headspace, September 7th and 8th I'll be traveling, and I could record remotely. Should probably set up my laptop to do that. So I might do that, but if not, I'll probably just wait till I come back in town and do it on Saturday. I'll be going Thursday and Friday. We'll see. Might be a little hiccup there. But I think I should plan on just doing it on remotely on the laptop. But it also depends that hotel Wi-Fi not the best, and laptop microphone not the best. So maybe I should get a nice little portable recording mic I have to remind myself of that. So many things to do. And I have a piece of paper and I don't feel like writing on it. That's the place I'm in right now. Okay, I'll write it down. I'll look at we'll do portable USB mic. I don't want to carry a lot of crap. But that'll be something to plan on. You know, if I'm gonna do it, I'll probably do it with a mixer. So maybe not even do USB mic. USB mixer with the analog mic. That'd be the dope way to do it. Get one of those Bob Barker microphones. I don't need a stand. You know how Bob Barker prices right? He always has a really thin microphone. And you look at it like, damn. How does he talk out of that thing? It's like tiny as heck. Yep. That's my story. Well, now it's Drew Carey. Which I love Drew Carey, but I still find him odd in that role. But I guess, who else could you see there, right? I guess if nothing else, he's probably the best person for it other than Bob Barker himself. Who's what? Like 120 years old or something? Anywho, if you're new to the show, I do also want to say that this show is NSFW, NSFK. Keep the youngins away. May not want to tell people at work that you listen to this show. They might look at you funny. You know, lately we've been pretty tame. It's just every now and then when we get a few guests and a couple of hosts on, you know, we get into some more risque topics. We've been pretty good. It's all fun. We just had, you know, the comedy aspect, you know, good times, good friends. That's kind of the vibe we're trying to create. And don't say broadcast, because that's kind of off-putting. We're a little more structured than just a bunch of people catching up with each other. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course. But, so this week, the week of August 21st, Monday, August 21st, a historic day for people around the world. It seemed very, the media coverage made it seem very U.S. centric. So, you know, we had the solar eclipse, alright? Well, actually, now that I think about it, depending on where the sun's shining, I guess it really was a Western event. Yeah, because the path of travel was over the United States to get the full view of the totality. It was from Portland, Oregon, and it arched its way down to the south, Nashville, Tennessee, through Columbia, South Carolina. Got 100% visibility. Here in Augusta, Georgia, we got 99. And I tell you, the 1% doesn't make a difference. People were expecting it to go pitch black. And no, the sun's that bright that even when it's covered 100%, it's still shining through. But it was still a sight to behold. With that stuff that NASA put out and all the fear-mongering, I was worried I was going to wake up blind. But I'm happy to say that I'm not blind. And the cheap dollar glasses that say they were ISO certified actually were, apparently. There was a lot of price gouging going on, too. Well, you know, people were asking for... You know, I meant to get the previous episodes out because we were talking about the solar eclipse, but I guess you'll listen to it in retrospect. But people were selling some of these glasses for like $200, $300. It was crazy. You know, and there's a lot of disappointment because, you know, around here, the eclipse process started around 1:24, something like that. At 3:40 through 3:44 was totality. Maybe a little less than that. But you say 2 to 4 minutes for the total eclipse. And then it started brightening up again. But it was really interesting seeing just how fast it looked like you could actually see it. The sun moving. Well, that's what it looked like, you know. Not millions of size of it. It's too much thinking, but just to see the transition. The particularly neat thing about it was the impact it had on nature, wildlife. You know, the cicadas in particular were freaking the heck out. Like, when it got really dark, they were just like chirping it up. And I noticed if you looked through the leaves, you could see the eclipse, like the pattern, like the little semicircle type of thing going through the leaves. It looked really trippy. I did get one good picture of that. I should probably post that. And then if you looked at your shadows, they looked really weird too, like kind of hazy, like they were smoky, like you were made out of smoke, you know, dissipating. Really neat. I was very happy with it. It was a nice excuse to take a quick break from work. I was supposed to have the day off, but I was working. But it, you know, took a pause, enjoyed it. And then followed it up with some pretty heavy drinking, since I was forced to work on my day off. You know, luckily I was able to work remotely for most of it, but still, work is work. So that was my my Monday. I quite enjoyed it. Had some good food at a steakhouse. That was good. You know, they always bring out those rolls, those hot rolls. If you go to a good steakhouse, and they usually have good like spreads. This one had the cinnamon butter. Oh, so good. And it's whipped butter too, so it just spreads out nice. So, you know, you gotta be careful not to load up on the break, and then you're not actually hungry for anything else. But you have appetizers, and then all you can eat bread practically, and lots of adult beverage selections. What's there not to like about that? So yeah, I was very happy with the eclipse, and if nothing else, I think it gave people a chance to reconnect in their community. Give people a chance to meet others. It's a good bonding experience. You know, you just felt compelled to talk to strangers because it gave you some common ground, right? Like, this simple thing was bringing people closer together, sharing glasses, sharing telescopes with UV filters, you know, talking about it as it's happening and afterwards. Hotels were getting booked solid. I'm glad I didn't end up going. I was originally planning to go to Nashville, Tennessee, and I was like, nah, it's too much work for something that really only lasts about 4 minutes, you know, because I wasn't going to really sit there for a few hours to watch it from beginning to end, unless you're like taking a time-lapse video maybe, but you need special filters for that. Yeah, I was originally thinking about doing that, but just didn't work out that way. What you call it? Something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, and just the Airbnbs alone in South Carolina brought in about $2 million over the weekend. So people obviously started coming in early to make sure they could get the room, and they just, you know, explored the local areas. So a lot of mom and pop shops were seeing a bump in business. People were doing different kind of events for it. It was really cool. This is a whole different kind of vibe, almost surreal. And yeah, it made me appreciate more of the CSRA in general. Just exploring, you know, good old exploration. Last week I went into my diatribe about Brian being the cock jockey. When I finally get that episode up, if I haven't already, by the time you listen to this, it's timey-wimey wibbly wobbly, you'll find out all about Brian, the Rooster Rider. This guy's quite the character. But it did ended up working really well because he tried to go over my head and talk to my boss, CEO and president of the company. And he was like, whatever, I know how he is. But, he had a good conversation. Hey, don't let emotion get in the way. Let's get the job done. I know it. He's a dick. Hearing the boss saying, yeah, he's an asshole. I get it. But let's just get the situation resolved. He gave me some good pointers on how to deal with him. And so far, so good. Gotta tell you, though, I'm really great on communication, understanding people. But this guy's just a sociopath. It's like he's bipolar, and like he just talks like one of those guys that probably is on the verge of going postal at any second, And that's one of the things my boss mentioned is that email's not the best thing for him because he reads into things too much. So phone calls are better. So food for thought. Sometimes it's better to just do the phone call because a lot of stuff is lost in text, lost in translation. Whew, I'm beat. Again, recap, bring us back up here. Whatever, can't think of words. Puppet Museum, Atlanta. They extended the Labyrinth exhibit rather, through October. So it's gonna be pretty dope. I'm kind of waiting for it to cool down. I don't really enjoy travel when it's hot as balls out. Let me just stay in the AC. Yep, I'm old and crabby. I'm okay with it. I was hoping Whatcha would pop in tonight, but I guess he's not popping in. I did want to say I did catch up with some TV. I caught up with Silicon Valley and what's the other one? I started watching The Defenders. I saw about 2 episodes and a little bit of the third. I'm digging it. I gotta say, I'm really smitten by Jessica Jones. Not so much the character, more Kristen Ritter. I usually don't like the skinny types, but she's got that edgy look, dark hair, cute face. She's got a cute little booty on her. I dig it. Big fan. She's currently on my wallpaper. I'm trying to think, as far as celebrity women go, who's more of a crush, her or Scarlett Johansson? It's a tough one. Like physically, I would say Scarlett Johansson. But Kristen Ritter seems like she'd be a really fun girl to hang out with, So, yeah. I overthink things, I know. That's what I do. I'll drink a little bit of this. Got this San Pellegrino. And it's an Italian tradition. Aranciata. Sparkling orange beverage. It's basically a very fancy Orangina. It contains 19% orange juice. Speaking of which, been involved in some really important meetings with our customers. Things that are so important that financial decisions are being made, and there's millions of dollars at stake, kind of stuff. Can't get into any more specific than that, without breaching my contractual obligations, but. I decided, hey, these meetings are running kind of long. Let me be nice and bring some bagels and pastries at least. So I went to Panera Bread. And then, some of the meetings we have less people. So I said, we're only going to have 4 people today. So I'll just give them a little treat since we're the ones that are kind of grinding away at this. Crunching data and coming up with strategies. Metrics and analytics, right? KPIs, all that stuff. Well, anyway, I got like a half dozen bagels, like 4 little cream cheese spreads. I didn't even get the pastries. I don't want to go overboard. And then some beverages, because they said it just take like 15-20 minutes to brew a whole thing of coffee to give us a box of coffee. I said, I don't have time for that. And that thing came out to like almost $30. I'm like, damn. It's crazy. Good thing I put it on my company card, you know. Business entertainment, that's the thing. I think those little things do go a long way. And one of our contacts on the customer side was thrilled. She was like, I love bagels, and I'm originally from Chicago. And I was like, oh, look. Yeah, we're not the only Yankees here. So that was cool. I think that kind of reconnected us, and little things like that go a long way. So it's been a pretty good week, just super busy. Brian is a handful. I need to hire a babysitter to deal with him. So kind of do. I've been talking to someone else in this company who actually knows how to communicate on a professional level and how to talk to your customers as if they're paying you lots of money, because we are. That's not to get back on a rant, but I just don't get these companies that treat their customers like a piece of shit. They act as if it's the customer's privilege to be doing business with them. Well, if you're gonna have that kind of attitude, then flip the tables and pay us instead. And then you can boss us around and act like a shithead. But accepting money and then not wanting to do your job and being difficult, I don't get it. How do people stay in business like that? And to be honest, Brian keeps being this rooster writer, and we're definitely going to be moving off his platform. And I'll make sure he knows that I was one of the people involved in that decision. Passive-aggressively letting him know he's a piece of shit. Yep. Professionally, of course. I did tell him that his bedside manner left something to be desired. And that was a general consensus, because it is. Anytime I mention this guy, everybody's like, ugh, him. No one wants to deal with him. Even the friendliest people at my company. That tells you something. They all can have a problem. The least common denominator is him. Anywho, moving on. So Silicon Valley, I didn't realize how much has just passed. They just wrapped up another season. And holy shit, I missed about they had like a marathon going, so I was like watching it while I was working. I caught maybe 6-7 episodes. A good thing they're like a half hour long. I don't even remember how many episodes they had per season. All I know, I definitely have to rewatch it because that season was amazing. It might be the best season they've had yet. Go figure. I didn't think they could actually make that show better. And I think what's neat about it is it's a fantastic show if you are a techie, if you ever had a startup, if you've been in that world, venture capital, pitching ideas, being someone with a brilliant idea, but having to deal with the assholes that are dumb and trying to explain why your idea is so awesome to them. I've kind of been on both sides of that, and to an extent, and it's interesting just thinking about that. But even if you don't understand that world, I think it's just good humor. It's just things you can't help but laugh at. Like, you could jump in on pretty much any of those episodes and enjoy them on their own, and it makes you want to keep watching. So unlike other shows where you feel like you have to go back to really appreciate things, yeah, that helps, but you can actually keep pushing onward and still get a sense of continuity and fill in the blanks, Of course, everything has a lot more of an impact if you've been watching all along. But out of Defenders, that that is shaping up to be one of the best Marvel Netflix shows yet. And I gotta say, Luke Cage was okay in his own series. I like the setting. I like what they tried to do. But he's much better as part of like an ensemble cast, right? Of course, that was fantastic. Iron Fist has his own story going on as well. It's continuing from his show. And as far as I've gone, they haven't really crossed paths. They have, but they haven't. And I don't want to say too much. So that's going to be pretty epic when that happens. So like each of these characters, I really appreciate them. Based upon the show and of course the comics. But together it's just really awesome. It makes me want to go back to the comics and start collecting again. And physical copy, not this digital bullshit. It's just... digital doesn't make me feel compelled to really dig in. And then, it's just so easy to just put it off and not bother with it. It's not an intimate experience. That's what I'm getting at. But Defenders is really shaping up. They're wrapping up a lot of... so all these other shows kind of set the stage. Motivations, arch enemies, life goals. So you get to see everybody where they moved on since we last saw them. And it feels like they picked up right where they left off with Iron Fist, almost. Well, no, some time has passed because Luke Cage was in prison. And I don't remember how he ended up there. I guess taking out all these criminals, could get you in some hot water. But, maybe a year has passed. Since Luke Cage. Apparently Iron Fist, Randy, what's his name? Something Rand. What's the name? I don't remember. Iron Fist. We'll just call him Iron Fist. He was traveling, searching for answers, and they kind of hint that the magical place is no more, and the elders have been taken out. I don't know if it's true or not. And I try not to say too much. I don't want to spoil, but. Oh, and just looking at the slideshow here, I remember now, I'm not caught up with the Magicians. So that's another thing I need to watch. Maybe I'll do that tonight. Anywho, if you felt with any of the Netflix Marvel shows that they weren't addressing certain things, believe me, that it was all a lot of setup to set the stage for this joint task force. That's all that. This merger of wonderful worlds. Great stories. It's great storytelling. Oh man, my back's killing me. There's a couple more things, and then I think I'm gonna say goodbye for the night. Orcs Must Die Unchained is now on PS4. Kind of sad it's not an Xbox One. People are saying that it doesn't lend itself that well to controllers, but it is definitely an Orcs Must Die game. I liked the Unchained beta when I was playing on the PC, and I think now it's a full release. So check that out. Fortnite, a lot of people talking about that. That's a game where you could pay to get in on the beta for the privilege of playing the beta, and it's $30 I think, and then or $60, I don't remember, but it's gonna be free to play. There's a couple of other games like that are doing that same thing. Is it Epic Games that has a game just like that? Is it Lawbreakers? I've been seeing a lot of like games that are using that model where you pay to get in. Fable Legends, I think, is full release status now, and I just wonder if it's gonna be able to keep up with Hearthstone and gain that that market share. It's a tough act to follow. I'm gonna make my notes. Some notes here. I think that's all we got. See, I have a lot of things planned, but really, a lot of these topics are good for group discussion. But since we don't have a group, I think this is where we're gonna end this one. Again, my name is Yomar, a.k.a. Yogizilla. This has been HorsePLAY Live, episode 193. Thank you for hanging with us this whole time. I'm gonna try to bring more energy. I'm gonna try to take like better power naps before this, and then like just stock up on energy drinks, so I can just crank out whatever last bit of energy I have left. I do enjoy doing this and connecting with y'all. Definitely get with us. We could use more friends supporting the network. You know, if you want to be a guest host or a rotating host, whatever. You know, drop us a line, mail at geekantics.net. You leave us voicemail or text message us. You know, SMS messages. That's a thing. I hear the kids love it. 646-801-2149. Again, 646-801-2149. Our Discord server is geekantics.net/Discord. I'm Yogizilla everywhere, at Yogizilla on Twitter, Yogizilla on Xbox Live, Yogizilla on Facebook. Don't use that as much. Twitter and Xbox are probably the best places. And I guess I'm gonna try to get on there more. I'm really hankering to play some games. So let me know what you're playing. I'd love to know that. Tweet me. The network, you can tweet us collectively, the collective, at Geeky Antics. And of course we have the website, geekantics.net. Check us out. And with that, it's been a pleasure connecting with y'all again. Hope you enjoyed this brief ramble fest. And hopefully next week we can get some more people in here to join the party. But for now, I'm out of here. See you next week. Peace.